So, in the silence of the evening, let's commence our guided meditation. So, let us begin by sitting in a comfortable position. Some of you may prefer a straight chair, even a hard one, so that we are compelled to sit in an upright position. If you're sitting on a chair, keep your feet flat on the floor. In any event, hold the body erect with the hands resting in the lap. And in this alert position, let us free our mind up from all the activities of the day. You can take one idea that occurs to you as you sit. It is important at each time of the day when we sit for formal aligning the mind to the innermost reality of that divine entity that sits within us. The withinness is not exclusive to us. There is an outer nature of things and an inner nature that is more causal. And it is this inner nature whose foundation is only one. In the beginning of spiritual practice, we don't really know who or what is this foundational one. What is oneness? We have no experience of it. And so a certain trusting element has to be there within us that is prepared to receive a revelation that this fundamental entity, fundamental existence, is also divine and infinite and unsullied love. Let us spend a few moments aligning our thoughts and feelings to this entity. Let us do it in silence. And silence means let us not be disturbed by any sounds around. Let us accept them, allow them to enter into our consciousness, allow them to leave also. At this time of day, the whole of life is preparing to wind down. It is a wonderful part of the rhythmic cosmos that this is allowed to happen. From our view, we say the sun is going down or the sun is coming up. And we can stay with that poetic, imaginative concept that the sun, having traveled across the sky and lent its life and love and light to all, is now engaging in a beauty of its own by reflecting its light against the dust of the evening and appearing to us as reflections in the clouds in the sky of different colors, different hues that change as the sun slowly starts to disappear. And this same phenomena is experienced all over the world and has been experienced since the dawn of our earthly time. Evening is an opportunity to give thanks for all the various activities that occurred throughout the day and to make an offering of all the fruits of those activities to that inner divinity. Let us pause while we feel the presence in us and around us. What you have on your screen is an altar with various pictures and symbols. Pictures of great saints, great incarnations, those who have established themselves in the pinnacle of perfection. It is these only that are worthy of worship. Who else or how else will we consider this supreme divinity? And they all have that one characteristic, and that was a fixity, so that the nearness was oneness, and that fixity was on the supreme principle that we call our most beloved. And they saw this everywhere, in all forms, in all movements, in all beings. Let us try to sit where they sat and beam from there. Let us also assert, may all beings be happy, may all beings be peaceful, may all beings be blissful. Just as the rays of the sun spread everywhere, in all directions in its generosity, and just as all the planetary systems go around the sun, as it were, in obeisance and recognition of that central point, the crux of the solar system. Let us acknowledge this drama. Let us accept the wonder and beauty of it all. And let us spread truth and beauty and goodness everywhere, even beyond the boundaries of the solar system, to the outer edges of the galaxy, to the vast, vast, vast interspace between all sparkling things in the sky, and the influence of way, way beyond the borders of this universe. Let us now be aware of how and where we are sitting once more. Let us draw our attention to various parts of the body and pour all our attention into the unit parts that the attention rests upon. Let us start from the toes, Let us be aware of the toes and the feet and the ankles. Let us place them as offerings to the original owner, the Lord that creates the movement from within and gives life. Same thing with the calves, the knees, the thighs, the entire legs, all the way down to the tips of the toes. Let us be thankful that the spine is arranged in a vertical manner that, according to the yogis, will contribute toward our awakening and freedom. Let us be thankful and cognizant of how the heart is pumping, working as a peristaltic pump, never stopping, never complaining, second after second. And the great miracle of the active city called the body, where dead cells are being replaced and removed. Nourishment is being delivered by the good strain of the circulatory system. And all the waste matter, all the used material, taken off in an outward bound train. And how the lungs are moving up and down through universal divine energy poured into us and through us. Let us sit in a moment of profound thankfulness for the miraculous and well-designed body that is a perfect machine. Let us consider that the internal presence of the divine is responsible for the operation of this machine, body, mind, and all the hundreds and thousands, nay, trillions of cells and parts that make up this human body. And let us consider it is there for a purpose. It is there for a divine purpose. It is marked on the very ridges of your fingers. It is put into the individual architectural plan in the very depths of the cell, in the very nucleus. Your plan is there, ready to unfold for the common good, for the divine purpose. If we understand this correctly, then we will feel that the body is an instrument of the divine. Let us open our hearts and surrender legs and feet and hands and hearts. Let us feel that in this opening, an influx of divine grace fills and overflows to the whole of creation, to all beings that exist. And in this, We experience the divine revealing itself through the openings that we ourselves have made to divine intelligence and love. This is the word of the divine, which is quick and sharp and powerful. Did you feel within you a sense of well-being and assurance welling up within you? Let us feel that that divine entity is permitting us to function in our life, is permitting itself to live our life. Let us reflect that we are not seeking the grace of the divine, but we are feeling its flow. We are not really seeking the word that proceeds out of the mouth of the divine, but we are listening to it. There is no need to pray for anything. Only listen for the divine voice within and wait for the divine word within to pull us and draw us toward it. And we can assert that of our own self we can do nothing. It is that divine spirit within that does all the works. What is this entity that sits within? Who is this? Let us fill our divine hearts in our imagination, a center right in the middle of the heart. Let us imagine that it is open. The habit of making images, that is, using the capacity of our imagination, is the closest we have to a reality in this world, since when we investigate it properly, the only reason why it exists is because of our imagination. Let us use this in an inspired way. Let us think that in the very center of our being, the very core, the very foundation, sinking down deeply into the center, there, a space in the heart. And that a very bright, exquisite light is sitting there in the very center of the center of the center. Let us see how it develops from a point to an oval shape. And right inside, let us see that there is an exquisitely bright lotus flower that in the wake of our anticipation opens up and sends its fragrant scent in all directions. Let us see how bright this lotus shines. And let us see how within it emerges that entity that always remains awake while we sleep. That always gazes on us with love. Not just affection, but deep love. And let us feel how this embodiment of love spreads and floods our being. Let us affirm that we will more frequently be in touch with this. Without this Supreme Lover, nothing of the body functions. Life has no meaning or purpose, no direction, no fulfillment. Let us feel how this love fills every corner with its nectar, never judging, never criticizing, for that is not the nature of love. Let us feel how its great radiance of love is moving through every single pore of the skin. And how it is spreading and penetrating the environment around the body, all with the light of selfless love, infinite brightness, life-giving essence. Let us see how these waves of love translate into forms and shapes of this universe, some of them as sound waves, some of them as light waves, some of them as heat waves, and some of them as thought waves. This whole universe is a makeup of divine vibrations and waves. Rays, as it were, of the inner divinity that sits in you. And there is no end. Infinitely it goes on, transforming itself into whirling discs, suns and stars, expansive space, endless are its forms, infinite is its love. The whole of existence sparkles and shines with its eternal presence, combining and recombining reflections, appearances and disappearances, and all coming from one central creative light. So far, we have seen an outward movement of this radiant essence. Let us now retrace our footsteps. Let us go along any line of vibration. Let all of it be withdrawn like strings. Let us feel how it is drawn into one central position within us. Let our ego agency be withdrawn with it, into it, until we find only one pure being of the nature of pure existence, pure consciousness, and bliss absolute. Let us reflect on a scripture statement. I live, yet not I, but my beloved divine lives in me. Let us feel that the atmosphere of this divine is with us always, And our very physical presence becomes a blessing to everyone with whom we come into contact. Not because we are there, but because that divine is there as the light of our being. Let us try to pray without ceasing. Let us continue sitting in a quiet mood, deepening the feeling of your meditation that we have inferred from this guided meditation.